Welcome back to CEO Central. The last time I spoke to you, I talked about the Gaming Machines Amendment Bill 2011 and how it had been introduced to Parliament and was being debated. Well, as I sit here today, I can tell you that that piece of legislation has passed. Taxes are now lower for clubs, and club grants, the old CDSE, has started operation. We are very pleased about that. I went up to Parliament House and watched some of that debate and was really heartened to hear the support that our clubs have. Led by Minister Souris, but many dozens of coalition government MPs stood up in the floor of the chamber and said how great their clubs were, the good things that they do, the way that this law, lower taxes and club grants, is going to allow clubs to support their communities even more than they already do. Also on the opposition side, some of their speakers also expressed strong support for clubs, for the jobs that they create and for the work that they do in the community. So all in all, a very positive development for clubs. The 1st of September, definitely a red letter day for New South Wales clubs. So what's next out of the MOU? We're expecting very soon, in the next couple of weeks, legislation to be introduced to establish a framework for director training to allow easier amalgamations and also de-amalgamations of clubs. Legislation to protect clubs against takeover by private interest. Very important pieces of legislation that we're expecting soon in the House and to be passed shortly thereafter. And then the final 2 or 3 tranches of the MOU legislation will occur as we head towards Christmas, maybe into the early new year. So this is a very positive time for clubs, positive legislation, sweeping away some of the old bad legislation introduced by the former Labor government, including 41X, the Royal Commission style powers that Premier Carr introduced to attack Penrith Panthers. That will go as well. So all in all, positive times at the state level. We're going to see a better regulatory environment. It will take a few more months to get through, but certainly by early next year we're confident that most, if not all, of the MOU provisions will be enacted. Over now to our campaign against mandatory pre-commitment. It seems that there's a significant development every week, and the last few weeks has been no different. Before I get into something about the Salvation Army, I just want to tell you that our campaign is evolving. Of course, the It's Un-Australian message is very powerful and plays very well in our clubs, but we are now seeking to engage a broader audience, and we've developed a new tagline: won't work, will hurt. This is a message that you will hear more and more as we focus our activities on marginal electorates around New South Wales and Queensland, and we concentrate heavily on those electorates held by the all-important independent MPs. So won't work, will hurt is a theme and a message that you will hear a lot more about. Just on to the Salvation Army, you may have read some media that they have taken the position of supporting voluntary pre-commitment as opposed to mandatory pre-commitment. Now look, this is true, lots of speculation from people who are against us that we were making this up, but indeed we weren't. The Salvo's position, that is in New South Wales, Queensland and the ACT, is clear. They support voluntary pre-commitment. They support a trial of mandatory pre-commitment to see whether there are any benefits in progressing to that stage. So the Salvation Army, we think, have taken a considered and sensible approach to this issue, and it lines up with ours as well. That's all I wanted to talk about this time on CEO Central. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.